And I'm very grateful for this opportunity to discuss issues which shaped the national security crisis perceived by the federal government in February 2022, issues which are at the heart of the Commission's mandate. I've studied national security and intelligence issues for the entirety of my career, beginning with a historical interest nurtured when I was a student at Cambridge University, which is full of the ghosts of spies. The arc of my subsequent career could be described as Macdonald Commission to Rouleau Commission. I want to make three quick contextual points before providing what our moderator suggested should be a chief nugget of opening advice for the Commissioner. The first point is lighthearted. I make it because I suspect the Commissioner hasn't had many moments of levity over the past few weeks. The other two, not so much. So I want to take you, with a purpose, to my favorite intelligence cartoon, published in the New Yorker magazine sometime after the 9/11 attacks. It showed a group of Neanderthals crouched in a stony landscape, inspired, I'm sure, by the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey. The leader says, I have no idea what a Neanderthal accent is meant to sound like. The leader says, we've got enough rocks. What we need is better intelligence. The Emergencies Act was rocks. What about the intelligence? The second point is about the historical context for this inquiry. It joins a long list of distinguished predecessors that grappled with national security crises, from the Rouleau Royal Commission in 1946, through the Macdonald and Arar commissions to the Air India inquiry, and intelligence performance issues were central to all these inquiries. This leads me to a third contextual remark. In my research paper for the Commission, I explored whether the effort to understand the intentions, capabilities, and opportunities of the Freedom Convoy amounted to a major intelligence failure. Now, with the benefit of the public hearings and associated documents, we can trace, I believe, a path from intelligence failure, especially early warning failure, to policing failure, to eventually the invocation of the Emergencies Act, marked by great uncertainty about what the future might hold. The concept of intelligence failure is a much studied but contested term, and you won't hear it spoken by government officials or ministers before this Commission. This is understandable. It is a hard thing to face, and intelligence failure is easily oversimplified and used for the purposes of scapegoating. My nugget of opening advice to the Commissioner is this. I urge the Commissioner to identify the critical points of intelligence failure and consider their impact on the invocation of the Emergencies Act. Such fact-finding is also relevant to recommendations to avoid future intelligence failures that might shape the course of national security decision-making in a crisis. If we can get the intelligence function right, that might allow us to keep the Emergencies Act legislation on its intended high shelf. To go further, I would say it's important to consider the limitations that affected intelligence collection on the so-called Freedom Convoy, especially in regard to open source intelligence. Equally important is the quality, accuracy, and utility of threat assessment reporting produced by diverse entities, including the Ottawa Police Service, the OPP, the RCMP, and ITAC. On the governance front, it is also important to understand the extent to which a largely decentralized national security system was able or not to coordinate and integrate diverse intelligence and information streams. The testimony heard by the Commission, especially from the National Security Intelligence Advisor, strongly suggests this was a real problem. More advice. Consider the phenomenon of mental maps, especially those used by political decision makers as they received intelligence threat reporting. This includes what they thought of the intelligence function in general and their receptivity to intelligence reports. Finally, it seems to me crucial to understand exactly how the available intelligence informed decision-making prior to and with the invocation of the Emergencies Act. Intelligence failures generate serious consequences for government and society. History is littered with them. If the Commission can successfully write what I call the first draft of the history of the Freedom Convoy, including the intelligence piece, got it, Kent? And determine recommendations to improve the performance of the intelligence system writ large, it will have done notable work in the public interest. Thank you.